Hey y'all, Enzo here from Knox Knife Mods. Well, not quick, this is not going to be a quick video, but a run through here of my insane slip joint collection. I don't know that I've ever done a sit down walkthrough of my slip joint collection before, and I've been a bit under the gun, so I thought this might be a video that we could do in one shot and kind of be a little conversational with and have a good time. So yeah, guys, we're going to roll the intro. We'll dive right into it. If you have any questions about any of these knives, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, let's do it. All right, so before we get into it proper, let's do a quick pocket check. My main blade today, oh yeah, haven't carried this in a while. This is my Ranger 8010 mod. Love this thing, man. A whole lot going on here, whole lot of custom work done to it, and I'm very, very, very pleased with it. There's no other production 8010 that looks like this, or probably any 8010 that looks quite like this. Yeah, love this knife. Awesome. And the secondary is right here, but we'll get to that in a minute. So let's just jump in. I'm just going to start with this drawer here. This is the drawer in my knife case, and I keep all my slip joints in this drawer, except now I'm running out of room, so I'm going to have to find another solution. But we're going to start on this side and here and then here. Just keep it simple. First up, this is a very recent pickup. Well, not recent. It was several months ago, but this is the Case Large Sod Buster. It's the only one I have in the large size. Orange Delrin handles. I find Delrin to be extremely comfortable in these well-rounded handle scales or covers that Case makes for these. I also got this to practice my filing, which this one's a little rough, but I'm getting better at it. So it's a fun knife. I really like the Case Large Sod Buster. It's a great back pocket knife. Up next is one of my favorites. This is the GEC 23 Pioneer Trapper. It is similar to a Tony Bow's bullnose trapper. As you can see, a lot of patina on this thing. Very heavy pull on this. This is probably my heaviest pulling knife out of all my slip joints. It's got a main drop point blade and a secondary. Oh boy, that one's tough. A secondary spay here. But yeah, just a beautiful knife. I really love the shield on it. I really love the woodland micarta, as they call it. It's ridged and has a nice kind of grip in hand. Yeah, excellent knife. And let's see. This one here is a very sentimental one. My sister moved to Texas not long ago, and I got this as kind of a little, a little memento of her going to Texas. I was pretty upset about it because we're pretty close. But this is the Yellow Rose of Texas Coke bottle from GEC, pattern number 97 Allegheny. Beautiful patina on this thing. It's interesting to me how patinas will take depending on whether the polish of the steel or the finish of the steel was originally high polish or brushed. But yeah, just gorgeous. Yellow Rose of Texas Coke bottle there. Yellow cattle bone handle covers. This one was fun. Y'all might remember it. This is a Case limited run red, blue, white swirl G10. This is a headphone warning here. If you got your headphones in, you might want to pull them out. But originally on the blade it said pilot test run, and that really bothered me because it was just all caps. And you know, I collect knives to use them. I don't collect knives necessarily as investments, so I got rid of that logo, and I think it's much prettier without it. I also put a satin hand rub finish on the blade and the bolsters as well. And yeah, I just think it's a super attractive knife. I love that Case did not mark the shield. It just makes it look a little bit more custom. So this is your classic Case trapper pattern though. You got that main clip point and that secondary spay in Case's True Sharp. Another sentimental one here. This is the GEC, well, no, it's a Remington Granddaddy Barlow produced by GEC. Taken quite a patina on this. Big clip point Barlow, beautiful saw cut cattle bone handles, and fluted bolsters. Yeah, it's just a really pretty knife. Sterling silver bullet shield. Love it. That is $10.95 on that, by the way. Here's another Case in $10.95, the classic trapper, of course. This was a great deal from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I think these were like 30 bucks or something. It was absolutely ridiculous. Yellow synthetic handles. It's that classic Case look. You know, I really love it. and it's taken a bit of a patina. I need to carry this one more. I haven't carried it in a while. It's got a decent walk and talk. It's a little soft. But let's see, how's the play on this? I don't think there's any play on this one. Let me double check the main blade. Nope, yeah, this one's nice and tight. Oh, I think I tightened it. That's why. That's why it's tight. So just to recap, actually, very little play on this large sod buster. Slight play on both of these GECs. Slight play on this case trapper. Slight play on this Remington. No play. And then this one here also has no play. This is the K-Bar. I don't know what to call this. I've heard it called a plowman's jack. A clip point main. A really cool K-Bar dog's head shield. That's kind of why I got this one, as well as I really like the jigging on the bone on this. Fit and finish on this is really nice for a knife. Well, it was made in the 80s, and so it's with 80s era knives, you don't ever really know what you're getting. Secondary pin blade. Excellent walk and talk, excellent action. Really, really like it. One thing I'll say real fast while I'm thinking about it that I find that cases, they are a little more finicky on what you're getting, but when you get a case that has no blade play, it tends to stay that way. Whereas if you get a GEC, like this GEC came with no play, and it has developed it over time. Every GEC I've owned has developed play eventually. It's just going to happen. Whereas a lot of the cases I own that do not have play still don't have play. I find that really interesting. This is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive mini trapper, an olive green jig bone with this exclusive crown shield. I really like that shield. It's almost like a kind of a hot dog thing, but then it turns into a crown. Pretty cool. So again, it's a clip point here. I don't know if that's a California clip or what kind of clip that is. Somebody correct me. And a secondary spade. Nice action on this one. I did have to tighten the bolsters because it was a little wobbly, but right now it is wonderful. Really like this knife. It's very, very attractive. This is another Remington knife, a Remington Barlow. I believe this one was produced by Bear & Sons. It is a USA produced knife though. I added a choil here because it had a horrible recurve, and I think the choil kind of made it look a little bit better. I don't know what the steel is on this. I think it might be 440, 440C. But yeah, just a nice little Barlow, a 2-blade Barlow with a clip point main. Good stuff. Their bullet looks a little funky. I've heard somebody say that it looked like a baby's bottle, which is funny to me. All right, next up is a case. Sodbuster Jr. I believe this is Autumn Jig Bone. I can't remember. Not sure on that. Or Peach Seed. I don't know, man. Y'all, somebody knows. Please let me know because I don't know. The Houndstooth shield here with the case logo on it. But yeah, just that main drop point blade, classic pattern. Very pretty. Really like it. I did tighten this one, and I think no, it's nice and tight now. But in the process, I accidentally chunked off a piece of the bone, but you can't tell. You can see the crack right there. I glued it back in place, so it's barely noticeable, and now it has no play. So overall, I'm all right with it. I hate that I did that, but at least it hides itself pretty well. Moving on here, we're going to do the middle row now. Y'all know this one. I've talked about it a bunch. This is the Rough Rider in Spades Appaloosa Coke bottle. Really love this knife for the money. It is excellent. Beautiful black, white Appaloosa there. Main clip and secondary coping blade. Blade steel is 440A on these. So yeah, awesome knife. Can't recommend these highly enough. I think they're really great. Let's set this over here, I think. This is a cool one. This is a Buck Creek Congress. 4-blade pattern here, a coping, another coping, or a ram's foot, whatever you want to call it. Another ram's foot or sheep's foot. And where's that clip? Or that nail nick. Ooh, that one's tough. And a pin blade. So very interesting. It's buffalo horn, believe it or not, with this weird sort of pattern on here. It's like laser. It's like it was laser engraved on the horn. I mean, I think it's attractive. The only thing I really don't like is the shield. I'm not crazy about the shield, but still, it's just such a funky, different knife. It's the only Congress that I have, and I like the size. So that's kind of what drew me to this. I got this over at Tennessee Cutlery from my buddy Johnny over there. Always good to hook me up with something. He always has something interesting on the shelf, and usually has it for a fair price too. The Buck Creek Congress. Not sure on the blade steel on that one. This is a Rough Rider Reserve Barlow. I always recommend Rough Rider Reserve for your money. I've never had a bad experience. Some people I've heard have said they have, but that's purely anecdotal. I've never had a bad experience with Rough Rider Reserve. Let's see, no play on that. There's a little hair of play, just a little bit. Nothing that I worry about really. Micarta covers, the old Arrowhead shield. I don't think they do that shield anymore. And D2 blade with kind of a very healthy belly to it. It's an interesting Barlow shape. I quite like it. It's attractive too when closed. It's an attractive profile. Okay, this is the Boker club knife. This was an exclusive through Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Interesting knife, a burlap micarta cover, integral copper frame. I think that's really neat. The copper's taken a nice patina. 01 steel, which was a big reason that I wanted. I don't have anything in 01. This is the only knife I have in 01 steel. I did have to peen it because it had terrible blade play, just awful. So I had to squeeze those bolsters together and re-peen it, but it's hidden pretty well due to the patina. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's a cool knife, very attractive knife. If only it came without any play, it would have been perfect out of the box. The Boker club knife. This is a case tribal lock. This is a Tony Bowes design. I love Tony Bowes' work. He came up with some absolutely gorgeous patterns. This is based on his Zulu antique bone with a bomb shield. I love that bomb shield. It's just beautiful. Fluted bolsters, although the flutes aren't always very straight, but I don't know. You know how case is. You just kind of either you accept it and you decide to love them, or you also decide that you don't want to put up with it. I don't mind cases shenanigans. So yeah, the flutes aren't always straight, but that's fine. I find this knife to be extremely attractive, and I love that blade shape. No play on this, by the way, in a mid-lock or a lock back, if you want to call it that. Here's like probably, this is tough. I have two cases I really, really love, or three. This is one of the ones that are just my absolute favorite. This is, or four. This is the Case Small Saddlehorn. This was a limited run. I don't know what the total run was, but this is number 288. But you know it's limited because of the long tail C on the bolster. Beautiful, again, another Tony Bowes pattern and a beautiful Tony Bowes style shield. That was a shield that he used a lot. Main clip point blade. It shares a lot of similarities with the Lanny's clip, also designed by Tony Bowes. I love the big nail nick there, and I love the swedge. I love everything about the design of that main clip. I think it's just beautiful. Walk and talk's okay. It's a little mushy, and there is a half stop there, but it's, like I said, it's kind of mushy. Secondary is a Skinner. Yeah, just a beautiful knife. I don't know what the type of die is on the bone. I don't know what they call it. The jigging is kind of, I don't even know what the jigging is either. It's just a different kind of jigging, not sure. But really cool knife, really love it. Another Rough Rider Reserve. This is the Easy Open Razor. I think it was their first release, the RRR01, I believe. Yeah, there you go. D2 steel. It's got the notch here to kind of dip it into your pocket and pull it open that way. And blue denim micarta covers, really pretty. That old school Arrowhead shield. Yeah, just excellent knife. Rough Rider Reserve makes great stuff, and the best selection is going to be at Smoky Mountain Knife Works of their products. This is a case, not exclusive, no, it's not exclusive, but it is an exotic. This is the Sow Belly Stockman, another Tony Bowes pattern, in giraffe bone. Very attractive. This side's a little less interesting, but is this the pile side, or I can't remember what you call the sides on covers. This side's beautiful. Our main blade is a clip point. Nice, beautiful shape. I love the shape of the clip point on the sow belly. And the secondary is coping, or sheep's foot, or whatever you want to call it. There you go. And this knife has been used, so all my knives have been used, so you'll notice some wear and tear and all that stuff. Third is a spay. There you go. I kind of like the way the spay has a bit of a pistol grip when you're using it. It's pretty interesting. Beautiful knife. I really love this one. I carry it quite a lot. This here, though, is probably the most important to me case that I own. This is a Case Barlow from, I believe, 2019. Got this right after my son was born because he has these, his eyes are like green-blue and they're very vibrant. And when I saw this this knife at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, I had gotten a tip from a job I did that day, and I was like, I'm gonna get me a knife with my tip money, and this is the knife I decided to get because it reminded me of my son. As you'll notice, I have badly peened, but it's tight now, at least it's very tight. Peened and refinished the bolsters, which was a nightmare, and I will never do that again, but it came out okay. And I also refinished the blade here to have kind of this brushed finish. But yeah, really, really awesome pattern. I just love that. I don't know. I just think that blue-green is beautiful. A beautiful Appaloosa dye there. So that is the Case Barlow. Always a big fan of Case Barlows. This is a Collector Knives Edition Viper Knives Swayback. This is an M390 steel. It's obviously a modern slip joint, a modern traditional, which is a silly thing to say, but that's what it is, I guess. Micarta scales, which were originally olive drab, they're now more of a grayish, blackish color. Very, very aggressive. Wharncliffe sheep's foot thing going on the blade. Just your classic swayback pattern. Titanium bolsters and titanium frame. Yeah, so that's it. It's pretty cool. Good walk and talk. I mean, it's up to you if you like modern slips. I go back and forth sometimes. I love them, sometimes I hate them. This is an Imperial Company Barlow. It's really cool. It's an old one from somewhere between the 50s and the 70s, I think. I got this at Smoky Mountain Knife Works in the old blades section. Saw cut Delrin handle and the stamped Barlow pattern. It's Barlow text. Really cool. No blade play on this thing, which blows my mind. It is tight. It's very tight. Not very sharp, and I can't get it very sharp. So I'm sure the steel is a cheaper steel. But as you can see on the tang stamp, Imperial, USA, Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. So yeah, that's where it came from, and I really like this. It's a good knife to have in the collection. Secondary pin there. It's in immaculate shape, man. It's a little gritty on the open and close, but yeah, it's just in really good shape. Cool knife. All right, moving along here, we have my first slip joint, my first my first slip joint. Well, no, not technically, because my first slip joint was a Cub Scout knife when I was a kid, but I lost that forever ago. This is the GEC 14 Lick Creek Boys knife. Main blade is kind of a spear point thing with a cool swedge up there. This is produced by the Tidiute factory. Jigged red bone here. I think it's a very pretty jig. I like it a lot. And the secondary blade, I believe, is just a pin. Yeah, pin. 1095. Yeah. I polished it up. It was pretty dirty, and I don't know. I think it's a really attractive, gentlemanly knife, so I decided to polish it back out. It's still a bit dirty. But yeah, cool knife still. I don't carry that one very often. Wait a minute. This was my first slip joint. The CRKT Quill, a very affordable one. I think it was like 20 bucks. A little thing, but I like the pattern. It's kind of neat. It's its own pattern. It was designed by Ken Steigerwalt. Yeah, Ken Steigerwalt. Ram's horn covers, I believe, and just your regular steel bolsters. Is there blade play? Yep, quite a bit. Not terrible. Well, yeah, there's a bit. And that horrible CRKT stamping. But yeah, that is the Steigerwalt quill. And lastly of this section is my the first Rough Rider Reserve I got, the Kayak. This one was designed by, what's his name? I can't remember his name. The blades are inspired by the 940 from Benchmade. Kind of this reverse tanto thing going on this main. I consider this the main. I don't know which one's the main, really. This one's got a bit of belly. Excellent walk and talk, man. And this one is more of a coping. So there is that. Still more of a modern shape on both blades, though, with these angular designs going on. The cover material is olive drab micarta, although this color may have changed since I've had it, because I've had this thing forever, and it has gotten a ton of carry. Very thick, though. This is a thick one. So you gotta like a thicker knife if you want to check out one of these kayaks. Obviously based on the canoe pattern. All right, let's take a break here. We're gonna get into these. This is my latest Northwoods, the Heritage Jack. This knife has gotten a ton of carry. I mean, it gets carried a lot, almost nearly daily. It's close to that. I love this knife. Now, it has play, as all my GECs and my only two Northwoods, but they're produced by GEC. Both of my Northwoods have play. Anyway, this one has taken just a gorgeous dark patina. I really like it. I really like it a lot. The covers are burlap micarta. I like them a lot too, because there's hints of orange and purple and blue in there. It's just a really gorgeous micarta, especially in the light. It just kind of has a lot going on. The classic Northwoods shield, it's the only shield they use. The arrowhead shield, really nice walk and talk. One thing about these Northwoods, though, is they are thick blades for slip joints. So if you're getting into Northwoods, just be aware they're on the thicker side. But they always come with these really wonderful pouches, these pocket slips. And one thing I'll say as well, if you're getting into Northwoods, man, good luck. It's tough. I'm not even into Northwoods. I just really love this one and was able to get it. I'm not actually a Northwoods guy necessarily. This is my only custom knife. This is the only custom knife I own by Phil Jacob of PH Jacob Custom Knives. He makes some gorgeous work. This is a Lanny's clip. The Lanny's clip is probably my favorite knife pattern. I really like it a lot, but I also really like this Heritage Jack pattern. I think it's really nice. Anyway, it's very ergonomic, pleasing to the eye. Blade steel here, CPM 154. Paper micarta, a jigged paper micarta handle cover with blue G10 liners. And it is I can't remember what you call this, but the G10 has a relief that acts as washers. So the action, and this is a lot of custom slip joint makers do this, the action is very nice, very reactive, very snappy. It's really good. No play at all. I mean, you know, it's a custom knife, so it's dialed in. But yeah, it's a shadow pattern, no bolster or anything, or no bolster on the tail. Yeah, and I love that shield. That is a very Bose shield to me. I like it a lot. And look at you can barely see the parting line there between the back spring and the blade. Just very attractive. Great action. The PH Jacobs Lanny. Okay, so I guess we'll jump into this side here. This is one of those 4 cases I mentioned. The Granddaddy Barlow. This was another one that Johnny over at Tennessee Cutlery set aside for me. Very kind of him to do that because he knew how bad I wanted it. So he kind of hid it away, and when I had the money, I was able to get it. Very beautiful jigging on this thing. I love the color of the bone. It's like this gray-blue color, and the jigging is just awesome. Look at that jigging. Man, it's like there's a lot going on there. Good walk and talk, too. Typical case lightness in the pull, but it doesn't bother me, though. The walk and talk's nice. This was made in 05, I believe, if I remember the date correctly, and I'm not going to date it right now. But it's got that hot dog, well, kind of a modified hot dog shield going on there with the case logo. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. Big clip point. I'm a big fan of Granddaddies. I just think they're a great knife to carry. Kind of a cool cowboy knife, you know what I mean? All right, another one of those 4 cases. The large Stockman in emerald green, kinfolk jig bone. Another hot dog shield there with the tested XX on it. Quite like that. I've done some refinishing to this, so the bolsters have been hand rubbed. I think it looks really nice. And the blades have also been hand rubbed. We have a clip point main, as you can see there, and a coping, our sheep's foot secondary, and lastly is a spay. So same as the sow belly. That spay's hard to get out because it rubs this one. Yeah, similar to the sow belly's layout. This one's really good. There was somebody really good at work on the bench that day. The only knock on this one is that those blades are really jammed in there, and this may just be the way the large Stockman goes, but this one rubs when I try to get it out. That is the only knock I'll give it. And I don't really even care that much because it's just such a beautiful knife. The emerald green bone, large Stockman. Another Northwoods here for you. This is my first Northwoods, the Coolidge Jack. This one I tried to keep in its factory sort of appearance on the blade at least. The rest of the handle's been beat up from use. But yeah, that's it. I actually did. So what I ended up doing was I did get patina on it. But this is typically what a Northwoods looks like when you get it. You have this like forge finish on the flats. So in order to bring that back, I taped off the flats and then polished the blade and the swedge. So now it kind of has that original finish that it had when I got it. But yeah, really, I'm not a fan of Texas toothpick designs, but I really like this one because you've got the Texas toothpick style handle, but then you've got a very like beefy clip point blade, and I think it pairs really well, better than you would think. The handle is actually really ergonomic too. Big fan of it. So black micarta cover and the Northwoods arrowhead shield there. Nice walk and talk cam tang on this one, but it's still really nice. It's a good action. And that beautiful Northwoods packaging. All right, so this here is a Rough Rider Reserve with their new shield, kind of an ichthus bomb thing going on. It is a whittler. I call it a coffin whittler. I can't remember what they call it, but it has a coffin-shaped handle, as you can see. Big fan of that coffin-shaped handle. But yeah, all whittling blades. Got a nice big whittling blade right here. Black micarta covers that are very smooth, and I like them a lot. They feel really nice. And here are the secondary blades. There's one whittling blade for you, a little one, and another one. And I believe they're pretty much the same. I'm not going to pull them both out at the same time, but yeah, good walk and talk. A little bit of play on this one, but the way it's a split back whittler, so the way that these blades are assembled, it doesn't surprise me that there's a little bit of play because it's basically you've got 2 back springs working on this blade, and these two back springs are working on these two individual knives back here. So it's kind of an unusual setup. No play on the main though, and that's really the thing to me. I don't mind a little bit of play on those little guys, but the main has zero play. Really cool knife. This is another one of those cases that I love. This is the another Tony Bowes design, a back pocket with a bit of a modern twist that I didn't think I would like, but has grown on me. This nail hole here. It's very easy to use, very easy to use with your offhand, which is also comes in handy. Blade steel on this one's S35VN, so again, another modern thing going on there. The handle material is buffalo horn, and it is pretty. I really love this buffalo horn, and I like the way it was jigged too. I think that might be more of a subjective thing. You may not dig that, but I think the jigging looks good. And it's a lot of color in this buffalo horn. It's got some golds and some grays. It's not just straight up black. Enamel case shield here. I wish they'd gone with a different shield, but it's still a pretty shield. So good knife, man. It's very pretty, very attractive knife there. This is a Rough Rider Apta in brass, brass handles, and the steel is VG10. Wolfman Walsh and I got these for like a steel at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Yeah, cool knife, great action, really nice. It makes some nice sounds too. But yeah, I carry this one occasionally. I mean, I really like it a lot. It's a good knife. I just don't carry it as much as I'd like to. I need to change that. Another Rough Rider here. This is a Rough Rider elephant toe or sunfish or whatever you want to call it. Big old spear point main there. Look at that thing. The 440A is the steel. Mirror polish, which I'm not crazy about. Hey there. Hey there. I would rather have a brushed finish, but you know, whatever. And another spear point secondary. I really like the elephant toe pattern. You just don't see it super often, which is why I elected to get this knife from Rough Rider. It's a good knife. It's fine, you know. But I don't care. Again, another one I don't carry as much as I would like. This is not a slip joint. Don't really know what's in here. This one's also not a slip joint, but it's one of my first knives, so I'll show it anyway. This was my dad's. Somebody put his initials on there, which is kind of cool. They've nearly faded away. But this thing is cheap. It is a POS. This is a just whatever brand Pakistan, those Pakistani forges out there, and it is dull as a spoon. And it's basically a kind of a buck 110-ish thing, but not, kind of a Case Cheetah thing, but not. I don't know what this thing is. The lock is very wobbly and very uninspiring. But yeah, I keep it around because it was one of my dad's early knives, and it was one of my first knives. So, and oh yeah, and the blade just smacks you can hear it. Just smacks. Smacks the handle. Good stuff. But yeah, I guess that's it, guys. That actually went quicker than I thought. Just for fun, we'll do some coins real quick since they're here. I'll just run through these. Let's see what we got. All right, here we go. This was, okay, yeah, I can show this side. His name's on the other side, so I'll keep that private. But this was a friend of mine who was in the Navy, gave these coins away with a promotion that he had, so that was really cool. Love this big old coin. An Imperial Septum. If you know, you know, man, and if you don't, I'll tell you. This is from the Elder Scrolls. This is the currency in the universe that the Elder Scrolls is set in, the currency of Tamriel, and it is called a septum. This is a Walt Disney coin that old Walsh got for me when he went there with his family. It has got R2-D2 on this side, which is pretty darn cool. This is a promotional coin from Blade HQ. It is the I Donut knives for their Desert Warrior lineup. This is from my friend Joe at Lancelot Leather. This is his shield coin. I think it's really cool. That's his logo there, and it's it's just a really cool coin. I carry this one a lot just because I really like that it's in the shape of a shield. Good stuff. Go support old Joe, and if you visit edcroundtable.com, use our code KNOX, K-N-O-X, for 10% off your order from not all but a lot of their vendors. So good stuff there. This is a silver dollar. Probably given to me by my granduncle. 1922 is the date on that. Up here is a Northwoods coin. This is the one that came with my Coolidge Jack. I gave the one that came with the Heritage Jack to Walsh. That's his now. And lastly is an Icelandic kroner. I really want to go back to Iceland sometime. Really love it there. But yeah, well, I guess this is 10 kroner. But anyway, good stuff. All right, guys, I guess that's it. Thank y'all so much for joining. This has been fun. I hope you had fun. If you have any questions or comments about anything you saw on the table, I'll put this here, I guess. Please leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions, or I'd be happy to read your opinions. let's just make this fun for anybody that's new to the hobby, that's getting into slip joints. This can be kind of a resource for brands they might want to check out. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Be well, and we will see y'all in the next one. Peace.